I'm going to first start off by saying kind of what's the history of your band? When did you guys get together? How did you guys meet? You know, what gave birth to Desmond?
Well, John Nowak and I started playing music together in about 7th grade, and we started a band. We played around for a few years, and then after high school we came to Michigan State and we wanted to continue playing. So we put up some flyers and put up some ads and met these two guys from some flyers and ads, and then it took us a while to find a bass player. We went through a couple people just like sitting in and playing around, and then actually in practice I think I heard Johnny playing bass in his dorm, so I just kind of opened his door and told him to come practice with us, and he did, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah, it kind of started because some high school friends were having a house party and they needed a band to play. So they asked if Isaac and I could get a group together. And so that was the first time that Isaac and I tried to get a group of people together to play a show in Lansing, and then it came from there.
Okay, cool. So how did you guys go about, I guess, developing a following in Lansing? Did it just kind of happen? Did you actively pursue it?
I think it helped a lot that we were, a lot of us were MSU students, so we had a good fan base. We still have a good fan base of kids who attend Michigan State. We played in co-op houses a lot. We would play and still play parties at the co-op houses like Orion and Monty and Howland and all of them, Phoenix, and we found that it was a really good way to tap into the younger people in Lansing and East Lansing who were interested in live music. So a core of our fan base comes from the co-op scene, other students and friends at Michigan State, and then from there it's kind of grown into we're starting to see more people in the Lansing area that we're not necessarily friends with or who aren't students come out to our shows. So I think it started because we're a college town band and we would play on campus at house shows and stuff, and occasionally at places like the Loft. So it was fun for the students to come out, and I hope we keep that base because it's important to come back to Michigan State and East Lansing, and yeah.
Very cool, very cool. All right, how do you feel that your sound kind of fit in with the Lansing music scene as a whole? How would you really categorize your sound, if you would?
I think there's definitely some bands that have a similar sound to us, but I guess we always say we're jazz, funk, rock fusion. But it's really a mishmash of all of our musical backgrounds.
We just
put together.
We just play what we want to play mostly, without thinking about whether it fits in with the rest of the things we play or not.
Yeah, we I think what makes us kind of stand out a little bit is that we try not to say we're gonna sound like this specifically. We all, like Chris said, we all have a bunch of different influences, and I think we're all very open to that. So it's cool when something like that comes out. No one's ever gonna say, I don't want to play that kind of music. You know, we're always trying to push that and do new things and keep it fresh.
Okay, yeah, for sure. How do you guys feel about, I guess, other bands coming up currently in the Lansing music scene, or that have kind of been, I guess, around at the same time that you guys work here at MSU, like Joe Hertler or Kimby and the Siblings? Have you guys done any collaboration with other bands that were MSU affiliated, or?
Yeah, we
were at the Bottom Lounge with Joe Hertler
we played shows with both Joe Hertler and Kimby, and the Siblings, and there's a pretty cool close knit community of the bands that are in the area. You see a lot of fan run over at shows, so people will go to a Joe Hertler show and then they'll come to one of our shows, and then Speak Easy is a new group at in East Lansing who we've played a show with, and it's just fun to connect with other musicians and bands who are trying to who have the similar goals to you. You can work together and put cool bills together and play cool shows. And I look up to Joe Hertler personally, just because he's at the next level where we would love to be at someday. And it's cool to see other bands working together.
Like, wasn't the
yeah.
sax player for Joe Hurtler right now, wasn't he in American Funk Parade?
All American Funk Parade, yeah.
I mean, where the sax player for Joe Hurtler right now is, like, we saw him at a house show like 3 years ago, and we're still like seeing this person from time to time. And, like, if we can like build a community of people playing music for people that they know, that's a really fun thing, and there's an energy from that you can't get from like finding strangers sometimes.
Absolutely. So for musicians that are currently trying to find their way within the Lansing music scene, what would be, I guess, something that you would impart on them to take away from all this, or to kind of try and get to where you guys are?
I think the biggest thing that we've noticed, because there's a lot of bands in Michigan, which is awesome, but the ones that gig around a lot, there's not a lot of bands that are gigging as much as we do, and it definitely, you can tell the bands that make are the ones that gig a lot, and they also act as professional as possible with venues and with music promoters and kind of treat it like a job. So there's the people that treat it like a hobby, which is fine, but if you want to do it for a living, there's definitely going to be work involved. So like, I think nowadays we probably spend individually at least 3 to 4 hours a day just working on managerial side of the band and booking, and then that's not even after practicing and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you want to make it, it just takes hard work like anything. It's just a grind. There's the big break thing and all that stuff. I don't know how true that is. I think it's just if you work hard, and obviously if you have the talent and the skills to do it, but yeah.
Absolutely. Would you attribute any amount of your success to the Lansing area and the Lansing music scene? Would you say that it was a great place to get your start, I guess?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we wouldn't have, we wouldn't have met
We wouldn't even be
half
here.
the people we had, half the people we've made connections with. We wouldn't have had half of the awesome experiences and shows we've had without this Lansing base. I mean, they were the first ones that, these are the first groups of people that became really connected, and we'd see, traveling with us, we'd go out of town and, we'd say, hey, those are people from Lansing, it's really cool. And so I think that was Lansing's been a great kind of home base for us as far as really setting up a solid foundation of fans and people that are really, positive about us and encouraging and spread the word. So I think
Absolutely.
Lansing is a big part of it, yeah.
Yeah, and would you attribute any amount of that to MSU or just Lansing as a whole?
I think I would attribute it to both of them, and maybe in different ways as well. The MSU in particular, like I said, playing at the co-ops, getting the Michigan State students involved in our fan base. The MSU has hired us to play at school events, like at the Rock and outside the Kresge Art Building and at the Union and stuff like that. So staying connected with the university has been huge, and we're really proud to mostly have come from Michigan State. And then Lansing is close to MSU, but what the benefits we've seen from that are completely separate, because there are people in Lansing who have nothing to do with Michigan State. So it's interesting to see the two work together, and luckily we've been able to benefit from both of them.
Absolutely. Great. I guess last question then would be, when you guys are back in the area, is there any one place that you guys feel the need to come back and visit, whether that's, a restaurant or just somewhere you guys always want to play?
Usually
or...
we like to go into the backyard of the house that Chris used to rent, and I don't know, we just camp out there for a couple nights. The people who live there don't know, but we're
really
there.
good at hiding.
I mean, we spent so much time jamming in that basement that it's sometimes nice to just sort of just stand there and look at each other and just wait, like we used to.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, no, Theo's is a good place.
And
I was just saying that on the way here.
and the sewers. Lansing is great.
Oh, the sewers.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, the Ave is a hugely welcoming place. I mean, it just the best places are the places that are closer to the community.
And it's sorry, George.
The basement at Monty is a nice.
Yes.
full of memory.
And so I was going to come back to the Loft too. We played our first show ever up here, and Jay, you have something to say?
No.
Where do you like to come back
Yes,
to?
I was gonna say,
What do you get-
Christmas
what do you-
message.
There you go. You have it all from John Loria.
We have it all. All right.
Swagath.
Yeah, Swaga.
Awesome.
Swagath.
Well, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Desmond
Thank you.
Jones.
Thanks
all
for
of you.
thanks for coming.